Hi, welcome to our new series, Grave Topics, where we dive deep into the funeral industry questions that you might have. My name is Brian. If this is not a good time for you, please make sure that you mark it on your timeline so that you can get back to it. Or if you want to share it with your friends or your family, please make sure you do so. And if you have any comments or questions, make sure you fill out down below and we'll read those and we may be able to have another one of these podcasts or videos in the future for you. One of the questions that we get is, what is awake? And that's a really pretty good question because some people, if they've watched TV and they see this long 2 or 3 day type of a thing at homes, that's not awake. That's actually something that's more connected to a Jewish type of a service where they're doing what's called a sitting Shiva. And there may be something similar in the Catholic religion where maybe you have the body go to the home for a little bit. But technically, a wake is what's considered a rosary service, or they can call it a wake. And what the purpose of that is so that friends and family can come. It can be done at a home. It can be done in a chapel outside the narthex or actually in the chapel at a Catholic church. Sometimes it's done prior to the actual funeral mass. It can be done at a funeral home. A lot of times people will have this wake or this rosary service on a Friday night, and then Saturday is when the actual burial may take place. It might happen on a Wednesday night, and then the Thursday, maybe at a noon mass, that type of a thing. That's when the Christian mass will take place. But let's talk about this a little bit. If you're Catholic, you'll know a lot about it. If you're not Catholic, but you want to support a family member or you want to support a friend, let's talk a little bit about this. What you will find, and I'm just going to describe a typical wake or a typical rosary service at our chapel. What will happen is you'll have a lay member. It could be ran by a priest. It might be ran by a nun. It may have a lay person that's going to come, or a family friend or a family member can actually run a rosary or run the wake. And what will happen is as you come in, generally you'll find some candles that are going to be burning. You're going to find maybe a crucifix that's going to be placed somewhere close to the casket. You'll also find like what looks like a little bench, and what that is that's called a kneeler. And if you are Catholic, what would happen is you would come up to the kneeler. The kneeler is actually placed to where you're looking at Christ, but it's going to be in front of the decedent, in front of the casket. So when you're saying a prayer, and what will happen is a Catholic member will go there, cross themselves, kneel, they will say a prayer, and that prayer is actually supposed to be going to Christ, not to the person that's in the casket. And I learned that a long time ago, that you make sure the kneeler's down by the feet, and then you're going to have the crucifix up by the foot end of the casket, not at the head end of the casket, because the person is not praying to the decedent. They may be saying prayers for the decedent, but they're not saying prayers to the decedent. And so you'll come in, you will see that. You might see some family members sitting in pews up towards the very front. If you're going there to support a family or friend, you can certainly go there. You can certainly do a viewing. The casket will be open at that point if the person's been embalmed and they're doing a viewing. It may be closed because the person maybe was going through a long bout of cancer, did not want to have a viewing. Either way, the casket may be open or the casket may be closed. If you're not Catholic, you're still welcome to sit in the pews. You're still welcome to say some prayers, that type of thing. You're welcome to visit quietly with family members after they do the viewing. There's going to be a period of time where they're going to be saying the rosary. So if you go in and you're hearing everybody saying the rosary, and I think most of us have heard that, if you haven't, it's going to sound like a bunch of people praying all at the same time. Don't interrupt don't go up and start talking to the family member. Wait till the prayers are done. Wait till the rosary has been completed, and then you can go up and quietly talk and offer your condolences to a family member or a friend. So that's generally what's going on. There may also be a point in time after the wake, the prayers and those types of things are done. There may be afterwards, there may be a period of time where there's going to be a receiving line for people to come through. Don't confuse a wake or a rosary for the actual funeral service. This is kind of a pre-service service, okay? This is where they're saying rosaries, they're saying prayers for the loved one, that type of thing. And then there may be a receiving line, and then it will go into maybe the next day, or it may possibly happen right after the rosary and wake is completed. There'll be a short period of time, and then the actual service may take place, and the actual Mass, the Christian Mass, may take place at that point. So kind of know that that's how that works. The wake is also, sometimes people call it a visitation. They also may call it a rosary. That's all these different things that take place prior to the actual funeral service. A wake can last several days before a funeral. And again, this is why some people sometimes get it confused with a sitting Shiva. This is not a Jewish tradition. This is actually a Catholic tradition. And it's also like Baptists, Episcopalians, other Christian denominations as well may have what they would call a wake, and that would be a period of time where people can come and visit. Not to get too confusing, Buddhists as well have a 2, sometimes 3-day ritual that they pray and have some viewing, that type of thing, prior to an actual service as well. So just again, know that a wake is not the actual funeral service. If you're not of the same religion, you can still show your support by going to that service and participating and being there. You're not going to actually maybe be required to cross and do all of those different things, but show the support to the family. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, please make sure you mark those down below. Make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you forward it. If this is a podcast that you're listening to, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Thank you so much.